I want to talk about chocolate today, a food made from roasted and ground cocoa beans. It can be a liquid, solid, or paste, either by itself or to flavor other foods. Cocoa beans are the processed seeds of the cacao tree. They are usually fermented to develop their flavor, then dried, cleaned, and roasted. The shell is removed to reveal nibs, which are ground to chocolate liquor, unadulterated chocolate in rough form. The liquor can be processed to separate its two components, cocoa solids and cocoa butter, or shaped and sold as unsweetened baking chocolate. By adding sugar, sweetened chocolates are produced, which can be sold simply as dark chocolate, or with the addition of milk, can be made into milk chocolate. Making milk chocolate with cocoa butter and without the cocoa solids produces white chocolate. All three forms of chocolate are used to make dozens of foodstuffs, particularly desserts like ice creams, cakes, mousse, and cookies. Many candies are filled with or coated with sweetened chocolate. Chocolate bars, either made of solid chocolate or other ingredients like nuts, caramel, or fruit coated in chocolate, are eaten as snacks. Gifts of chocolate molded into different shapes such as eggs, hearts, and coins are traditional on certain Western holidays, including Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, and Hanukkah. Chocolate is also used in cold and hot beverages such as chocolate milk, hot chocolate, and chocolate liqueur. And finally, I want to mention that in some countries the word chocolate is used to describe any food or drink that contains cocoa, while in others it refers only to the fully processed product. This will determine which definition we use here. Now let's answer some questions. What is chocolate? We already discussed this. How did it come into being? Chocolate comes from cocoa beans, the seeds of the cacao tree. To get them, the fruit of the tree has to be harvested, split open, scoop out the beans, put them in heaps for fermentation and drying, clean them, roast them, and then shell them. The shells are removed to get the nibs, which are the pieces of the beans inside. The nibs are then ground up to produce chocolate liquor, which is a thick, slightly bitter dark brown liquid. Chocolate liquor is basically pure chocolate without any additions. From here, it can be refined further to isolate the fat cocoa butter from the solids cocoa mass. The remaining liquid is still very bitter, so sugar is added to make it more palatable. And that is how we get sweetened chocolate. Why is it called chocolate? The word chocolate is a Spanish loanword, first recorded in English in 1604 and in Spanish in 1579. The exact origin of the word is contentious, but despite a popular belief that chocolate derives from the Nahuatl word chocolatl, early texts documenting the Nahuatl word for chocolate drink use a different term, cacahuatl, meaning cacao water. The linguistic evidence thus does not support a direct derivation of chocolate from Nahuatl, although other theories have been proposed. One suggests chocolate derives from the Spanish word chocolate, which derives from the Portuguese word chocolate, which possibly derives from chacalho, meaning a kind of earthenware pot. Another theory traces the word chocolate back to the Latin word chocolatus, meaning of or relating to cocoa. However, the Oxford English Dictionary rejects both of these theories, stating that it is uncertain whether the word chocolate entered the English language via Spanish or Portuguese. A less widely accepted theory is that chocolate came into the English language via Old French from a Germanic source, specifically from a Frankish word, escolta. Another obscure theory asserts that chocolate derives from Greek, from a phrase referring to the color of the liquor, chol, meaning bile or black, and eidesis, meaning appearance. When was chocolate invented? Evidence for the domestication of the cacao tree exists as early as 5,300 BP in South America in present-day Southeast Ecuador by the Mayo Chinchipe culture, though it is unknown exactly when they began consuming it as a drink, as opposed to just using it as a medicine or currency. Then it moved into Mesoamerica where it was adopted by the Olmec civilization. The Olmecs are believed to be the first Mesoamerican culture to have domesticated cacao. Though they may have obtained their seeds from the Maya, they were the ancestors of the Zapotec, Mixtec, Aztec, and other cultures. The Olmecs lived along the Gulf Coast of what is now Mexico and were thought to have reached their peak between 1200 and 400 BCE. There is evidence that they fermented the sweet pulp surrounding the cacao beans into an alcoholic beverage. It is also possible that the Olmecs were brewing a beer-like drink from cacao. The earliest archaeological evidence for chocolate in Mexico dates back to 1900 BCE. While it is true that the Mayan emperor Calakul, Tikainishjanabpeko the Great had a chocolate cup, this is probably not evidence that the Mayans were making chocolate at this point. More likely, they were still drinking a spicy, bitter cacao-based drink. The Mayans and the Aztecs, who followed the Mayans, considered cacao a gift from the gods and reserved its consumption for rituals and ceremonies. Cacao beans were used as currency, tribute to leaders and gods, and even used as a medicine. Chocolate in Mesoamerica was a bitter drink, flavored with additives such as vanilla, ear flour, and chili, and was capped with a dark brown foam created by pouring the liquid from a height between containers. It wasn't until the 16th century that Spanish missionaries, appalled by the inclusion of chili in the chocolate drink, replaced it with sugar and introduced the drink to Europe. What is the difference between chocolate, cocoa, and cocoa powder? These terms all refer to different stages in processing cacao beans into chocolate. Unsweetened chocolate is made from the raw material, cacao beans. Raw cacao beans contain about 50% fat. When the fat content is reduced to 12%, it becomes cocoa. Further reduction of fat results in cocoa powder. So that was a little bit about chocolate. If you want to learn more about it or anything else, please go to our website and leave a comment under the video link provided below. Also, don't forget to like and share if you like the video. Thanks.